Almighty fortress is our God. Good morning. Good morning. Delicious. Yes, Almighty fortresses of God's on the mind because today's text is the text we use traditionally for Reformation Sunday. I don't know if I think I did use it last year. Anyway, John. Yes, if you guessed John, you won. John 8:31 through 36. Yes, yesterday's video we left you in suspense what gospel to be. It is John, because God abiding is central to this whole book. We get in a whole week on just God abiding as according to the Gospel of John. In that first chapter, the Word was God, the Word was with God, and the blah, 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 blah. That's God abiding. God present in the Word, God present with the people. God abode on earth with God's people, right? Like this is, God was present at creation, God was present at the cross, like abiding. Obviously, the passage we talked about this past week, God abided. Abide in me, abide in you, vine and branches, that relationship, really spelling it out, right? It's all over the Gospel of John, but sometimes in places that are not always clear, given the English translation. You know I love going in on this translation stuff, but it matters. We have context clues in the original Greek. Why do we ignore them? I don't know. They didn't ask me. Okay, so John 8:31 through 36 is the traditional Reformation Sunday text. We will see if this might be a sermon preview for next October. We'll see. I probably won't remember, so no worries. All right, so John 8:31 through 36. Jesus says to the Jewish authorities, by the way, real quick, gotta go here too. Another poor translation. Again, John was translated and to preserve tradition in the way it has been translated into English, some things were kept, and I disagree. If you look at like King James, for example, there's large differences from a lot of other translations because King James is like, nah, we're doing it more accurate sometimes and less accurate other times, but here we are. Anyway, anytime it says, like in our preferred translation in the ELCA, the NRSV, but we love using multiple translations so we can have these conversations. It says to the Jews with a capital J. That is better translated as Jewish authorities. I usually change that when I read the Gospel on Sunday morning because it's two very different understandings. The Jewish authorities, or as Matthew, Luke, and Mark call it, the Sadducees and Pharisees. Okay, so Jesus said to the Jewish authorities who had believed in him, "If you continue my word, you are truly my disciples. And if you know the truth, then the truth will make you free." They answered him, "We are descendants of Abraham and never have been slaves to anyone. What do you mean by saying you will be made free?" Jesus answered them, "Very truly I tell you, everyone who commits a sin is a slave to sin. The slave does not have a permanent place in the household. The Son has a place forever. So if the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed." So where's abiding here? Verse 31, right at the beginning. "If you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples." Continues a bad translation. You know what it is? Come here. It's abide. If you abide, or continuously abide, well, abide assumes continuously. So, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples. And then you will know truth. So think about it. In John, if the word, it was God, and the word was with God, and the word was in God, all that, if that is an inherent relationship between God and Word, and if we have an inherent relationship that we abide in the Word, then thus, A plus B equals C, we abide in God. And God abides of us. It's like a whole relationship of abiding, of faith, of constantly being in it together. So if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Yes, I know I touched on this briefly in the sermon, but we really had to flesh this out. This passage is too important. This is a huge hook in the Gospel of John, right? That's why we use it every Reformation year, right? If we abide in the word, right? Obviously, we're focusing on Luther, word alone, sola scriptura, right? God's word is truth, etc., etc. It makes us free. Sin boldly, believing God ever boldly still. Like this, it's just oozing with Reformation theology because they got it from John's theology that was already there. Not you continue in my word. That's just like, oh, you go to Bible study. No, you abide. You're ever present in it with God. Then you will be made free. It's talking about new life. It's talking about our existence as Christians. The effects of salvation that we feel in this life, let alone the next. So if Son makes you free, you're free indeed. You're free because of this abiding relationship. Whew. So yeah, basically if you see continue in that kind of use in any of the Gospel of John, it's abide. Alright. Cool. Enough mind-blowing for today. We will continue tomorrow. You know the book. You know it. If you've been watching these car videos, you know where we're going next.